Alright, this is gonna be my audience. Get lost. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Okay, that sounded a little crazy, right? How about we try something else? Go find yourself. Sounds better. I thought it would. So, you see, the difference is there's really no difference at all. Each time I'm basically telling you the same exact thing. Getting lost is single-handedly the best way to find yourself, essentially. And it is not until we are completely gone that truth reveals itself. This is the best advice someone can give you, so don't get mad when they tell you to get lost. I mean, unless you deserve it, obviously. But one of my favorite quotes from John Lennon states, "Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans." End quote. Sometimes we can't control what happens to us, but we do get to choose how we go about making reparations to these changes. And whether it's changing scenery, or identifying the struggles in your life, or getting wrapped up in a hobby or something you enjoy, get lost. Oftentimes we learn through experience. This is something that is probably the most instinctual in our nature. And going through things tends to be the best way to gain an understanding or further a thought. Dr. Alan Castell from the journal Psychology Today expands more on this concept. He shared, "You will remember things for a longer time if you are first lost in the learning process and then discover a deeper understanding of what you are learning. The same is true for most life challenges. We often remember challenges and mistakes we made and what was learned from these failures. Sometimes a little failure early in the learning process can be a good thing." Close quote. Furthermore, if we never push ourselves outside of our boxes, we never grow, we never change, we never have to adapt. Being comfortable is okay, and there are times being comfortable and content with life will be your goal. However, without experiencing discomfort, we can never grow and change. Recognizing this internal dissonance between who you once were and who you are now is definitely one way of opening your eyes and taking action in these situations. The very act of losing oneself is how we learn and move on with our lives. It is simply adaptation. The first indicator of healing after losing yourself is discovering yourself. Getting to know yourself is the first step in the process. We must sit in the uncertainty of a potential and ask ourselves all of these valuable questions, not just in work, but in life. This identity alignment connects beyond work to life. When you are lost to find what you are looking for, sometimes not even what you thought you were going to find, it can be the most rewarding form of deep discovery. And a control experiment performed by Van Tongeren, hope I'm pronouncing that right, from the Journal of Positive Psychology, which was used by Brad Stolberg from The Growth Equation, highlighted, quote, "Next, Van Tongeren conducted a case control experiment, that is, he took a group of individuals, measured their sense of meaning at baseline, and then instructed half the participants to engage in altruistic acts and the other half not to. The participants who partook in the altruistic acts reported significantly greater increases in meaning versus those who did not, suggesting a casual relationship or that acts of kindness are not merely associated with, but actually create meaning." So self-discovery is kind of a big part of finding yourself. I mean, essentially, you have to rediscover yourself to know who you are. When we find ourselves, there is often a confidence boost that comes along with this. It is easier to be who you are when you know who you are. Valeria Sabathier from A Step to Health shares a healthy way to disconnect from the noise of the world. A study conducted by researchers at the University of Wisconsin finds evidence in this direction which warns of the effects that stress can have on certain brain structures. I would say that there is an importance between just taking some distance and actively reinventing yourself. This is a huge factor emotionally and physically. Rather than fleeing, it's about taking some time to heal. It's making yourself a priority and taking the opportunity to have a specific time with yourself that you've often neglected or put aside and maybe even forgotten. So, to aim to not get lost again is to make intentional choices each time we have a choice. So, oftentimes being aware of the choices we are making. It is easy to look beyond a choice and see it as something we have to do. But we are the drivers of our own life. We make the rules. We don't have to do anything. We get to or not if it doesn't serve us. Beyond the fears you feel about distancing yourself, which can also often be scary, I understand, it's possible to think about what you'll gain by stopping a moment with pauses like this. You lose yourself to grow stronger. This is an important thing to remember when going through this. And you must take your life by the reins to be more steady and secure. If you dare to do it, the reward of finding yourself again and taking on new perspectives may be just around the corner. Undoubtedly, sometimes getting lost is the best way to find yourself. And I would love to close with one of my favorite quotes about this topic, which reads, quote, "Our happiest times are those in which we forget ourselves, usually in being kind to someone else. That tiny moment of self-abdication is an act of true humility. The man who loses himself, finds and finds his happiness." Close quote. Fulton J. Sheen. Thank you.